Oscar predictions. Will the Time's Up movement and political jokes take center stage Sunday night? Then the head of conservative powerhouse CPAC, Matt Schlapp, is live. Why he says Senator McCain deserved to be booed at this year's conference, and if his wife is replacing Hope Hicks as White House Communications Director. Raise a glass, because the legendary Jimmy Buffett's turning the View into Margaritaville. And Anna Navarro's back to guest co-host. Let's light up Hot Topics with Joy Behar, Paula Ferris, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
What's the name of the show again? The View. Oh, that's right. Welcome to The View, everybody.
We're matching.
Oh, yeah, we're
Happy
matching.
Friday.
Matching.
You guys didn't even plan that, did you?
No.
Our friend Anna Navarro is here looking very nice. And
Because Jimmy Buffett's on the show.
Jimmy Buffett is here today. And these girls are going to hit the margaritas after the show. And the East Coast is getting pummeled by storms right now. But it's working out in Washington because the rain is hiding the tears of all the staffers getting kicked out of the White House. The latest rumors claim that Trump has asked John Kelly to get rid of Ivanka and Jared for him. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So the man whose catchphrase is "you're fired" is actually asking Kelly to do his dirty work. Don't you love that?
God.
So what do you think? Do you think they're out or what? Ivanka could be out soon.
I don't know. I think it would take a lot for President Trump to turn on his daughter. She's his favorite. She's a close advisor. We were talking in the meeting beforehand that I do actually think there is a role for his daughters, family members, but it's more in the morale territory. It's more to keep emotional support for the president. And I do think they sort of overshot the runway by being security advisor. I don't know her exact.
I've seen you advisor to the
Senior
president.
advisor.
Yes, and he's brokering Mideast peace and then working with Mexico. I just
Not
don't.
anymore.
Yeah, I just don't think it's ever been a good look for the administration. And I think at some point Trump has to sit down with them and say, listen, this is becoming too much of a distraction. Do you want to keep running into the same walls? Because they're basically on the Washington hamster wheel right now. They're just spinning the wheels and running into the same roadblocks. They're not going to be very efficient.
But actually, my question is, why do they even want to be there? Look, this is, this is affecting Jared's ability to get his company out of the financial straits it's in. They're really not being very effective policy-wise. We all thought Ivanka was going to be there and offering up Donald Trump. Well, it turns out not Ivanka, not John Kelly, not Melania.
No one.
Nobody's going to change Donald Trump. So what are they doing?
And they're not getting paid. They're not getting paid a dime.
This is the issue that I've always had with it. I think I think it reeks of nepotism, and they really have refused to really step back from their business dealings. And now you have foreign governments. You have, is Mexico, Canada, four foreign governments,
United Arab Emirates,
and they're saying, they are using those business entanglements to possibly manipulate Jared. Now you have Ivanka's business dealings are under counterintelligence investigations. I mean, this could harm the country. This is a matter of national security.
But it's interesting. The guy I don't know enough about the money part. I mean, he borrowed $500,000. How much? That's a billion.
Yeah, no, it's like
From Citicorp.
No, it was a hell of a lot more than
500 million.
500 million.
It was a
I'm sorry.
half billion.
500,000 doesn't even buy you a studio apartment in New York City. But $500 million. What's the quid pro quo? Why did they give him all that money?
Well, I mean, my understanding is that what you're talking about is they've got this, ginormous building here in New York called 666.
Six.
By the
Isn't that
way,
the devil's number?
It is.
yes. Well, anyway. anyways, they've got a building called 666, which they are not, it's not rented out enough to be able to make the debt payments. And so they've had to be able to come up with money from somewhere.
And they can't sell it. No one wants to buy
I
it.
think part of the problem is, in any other administration, if you had your security clearance downgraded, you probably wouldn't still have such an official role on such a high level. And that's when, Sonny, when you're talking about nepotism, that's a direct correlation. And I think at a certain point, Jared and Ivanka, who I have given a lot of leeway to, and I really had high hopes for, I don't know what they're doing policy-wise. I did. I actually thought that they could bring, I thought that they could bring a softer tone to President Trump. Everyone says that she has this influence on him that is, like you said, measuring and softening. And I just think at this point,
isn't that what his
bringing
wife is
peace
for?
to the Middle East.
Isn't that what the wife?
She's there to. I think she's there to fight social bullying on social media.
But Megan, isn't a wife supposed to bring you?
Each family dynamic is different. I have no idea. I don't. And I'm
daughters more so
I'm not really
soften up
interested.
their fathers.
And it's, you know, I mean, I had higher hopes for them than what's panning out. And I think at a certain point, you're going to have to offend somebody. Politics is all about taking a hard stand. And they seem incapable of, I've said this before, I'll say it again, they still want to be invited to New York parties here. It's not going to happen. You're tainted. I'm tainted. When you're a Republican, there's a certain segment of liberal people who don't want you around. Try doing something significant and making a hard move, and they just don't seem capable of doing it.
Wasn't this foreseeable? Wasn't this foreseeable? I mean, I think we all talked about it because they have these business dealings. I mean, right after he was elected, I think Ivanka met with China and got these trademarks that they had been looking for. I mean, they haven't disentangled themselves. And Leon Panetta, I think, said it so well. He said, when you have family members who have no clear-cut role, no experience, no real understanding of the rules, and a host of financial dealings that can obviously be used to manipulate you, then that is a prescription for the kind of chaos you're seeing in the White House.
Well, maybe, you know, that's right. They're all going to be gone.
So do you think at the end of the day, if Trump chooses the country over his own family, is that a good thing? Or would you rather him vice versa?
Well, I think they're all going to end up together in prison, and maybe that's a good thing.
Oh, my God.
I just teased you up for that one.
Okay,
I wonder why they don't look at themselves in the mirror, Ivanka and Jared, and realize that they have become a liability, not an asset.
To the country and to the...
Wait a second. Trump is a liability to the country. I said to my husband this morning, why is he still there? He said, because he was elected. And that was really like talking to a child almost, you know? All right. We got to take a break. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Later, all eyes on Oscar. How Hollywood will honor the Time's Up movement on awards night, and what host Jimmy Kimmel told Paula about how he's handling it. Speak your mind fearlessly. Hold nothing back. That's what these women do.
This is America, and we're supposed to have a difference of opinion. We should want to be a united front.
We need more compassion. We need more empathy. We need more togetherness. We don't need more bullying, and I'm tired of it.
And that's why the hottest political exclusives happen here.
If you're a Republican and you want to make news, come on this.
Welcome back. Now, the Oscars are this Sunday night, and the Time's Up movement has cast a big shadow over award season so far. And Paula, you talked to Jimmy Kimmel about how he's going to handle it. What did he say?
As a comedian, how do you handle this one, Joy?
Well,
I mean, there's so many landmines out there. I asked, you know, Kimmel, in light of Me Too and Time's Up and DACA and politics and gun control, how are you going to handle it? He says he might be able, it might play to his advantage, but I asked him specifically how it's going to go down.
Okay.
This show is not about reliving people's sexual assaults. It's an award show for people who have been dreaming about maybe winning an Oscar for their whole lives. I'm not going to stop any bad behavior with my jokes.
What do you think, Joy? Can this, as a comedian, can it play to his? I know, but can it play to his advantage? How does he navigate around
I think that he does amazing Trump jokes because free for all on that one.
Yeah, he said he will go there with Trump.
And what'll happen, which is fascinating also, is after he kills with Trump jokes, then Trump will say he has no talent. That's what he said about Alec Baldwin. He has no talent because he's funny. He said it about me, put it in his book, I have no talent, when I did a hair joke about him. And that's what he'll do. But as far as the Me Too thing is concerned, look, You can make a joke about Harvey Weinstein. You can make a
Yes, why
joke
can't
about
you do
Kevin
that?
Spacey. It will be misinterpreted.
Is
Just
it
like
too
it happens
soon?
on this panel right here. I make a joke about the perpetrator, and it gets construed that I'm doing it about victim. And that does not work in this environment.
I think what he's going to have to rely on. I think what he's going to have to rely on is the presenters, and there's some pretty powerful presenters: Ashley Judd, Laura Dern, Nicole Kidman, who are probably going to do that for him.
And I think they're going to bring it up on stage.
They're presenters, exactly. They're
gonna bring it up
presenters.
on
Oh, but when you have that list of presenters, it's not by coincidence. I think,
Nope.
you know, I mean, whether you want to or not, Hollywood led in this. It's a very Hollywood problem that's seeped all sorts of, you know, industries. And it's going to be part of the narrative, whether you like it or not, whether you schedule it or not.
Have people had enough of it? That's what I wonder. I wonder, is that why Jimmy may be staying away from it? It's either too soon to talk about it, or people have just had enough. Because we've had a lot of celebrities that have come on this show and they've said, I'm here to entertain. I'm not here to be a politician.
No,
and even Laura Ingraham
he's
said,
different. He's different, though. He's completely
But
different.
the Grammys ratings were down 24%, and I
Whose ratings?
don't, the Grammys. I don't really watch award shows anymore, and maybe I know there's a segment of the population that thinks Trump jokes are hilarious. Making fun of Republicans is hilarious. I'm here to tell you that Hillary Clinton cameos, all that, I'm so turned off. I have no interest in being lectured to about my friends who are Trump supporters. And if Hollywood wants to like be more inclusive, as they claim they are, they're all inclusive except when it comes to conservative values, and except when it comes to Republicans. And I'm not interested in watching that.
Wait a second. Wait a
people feel
second.
the same way.
Hold on
They
a
do.
second. Since when do you think that Trump is a Republican?
Well, fair touche on this Friday, Joy. But I don't like it. I don't like that it's all just you dumb Trump supporters. This
Nobody's
guy in
doing
here.
that. Nobody does that.
I'm telling you my interpretation as a Republican watching these shows, and the Grammys were down 24%. And I don't think touting out Hillary Clinton to make some joke about fire and fury is a good look all across the board if you want to raise your numbers, if you care about ratings.
But the CMA
Well, to answer your
question, I don't think Trump is a Republican.
No.
I think he has staged a hostile takeover of this party, and
Yes,
many people
of
have
course.
ceded it to him.
But that's right.
I
And
think
that's
you
why
just
he
make it-
deserves all of his jokes.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, when I go home at night when I'm trying to take a load off, you know I'm watching The Housewives, and I'm not watching. I also don't care about some of the movies that were out there, but I will say it's tribal. It's like I just don't want to get, because I have family members, friends who are Trump supporters who like him, and well, extended family members, and I will say that I don't.
Nobody is making a joke about Trump supporters. I have not heard it anywhere.
But it's interpreted when you have Hillary
It's
Clinton
an attack on them. If it's an attack on Trump,
They
many
believe
interpret it
that-
as an
and
attack on
if you
them.
voted for him, then you feel that
You're
you feel the
defensive.
guilt. You're defensive. But I've got to tell you, we've also
gotta
interviewed
go.
celebrities that say, I'm an American and I still have a voice. LeBron James, I'm an athlete, but I'm not going to just shut up and dribble. I have a voice. So stand up
All
and
right,
dribble.
I have to stop this conversation. If you want to have time to talk about sex in the next segment, we'll be right back.
CPAC Chair Matt Schlapp on why he's defending the president coming for Senator John McCain at this year's conference.
And except for one.
Okay, I said we were going to talk about sex, but we have Matt Schlapp here first. And believe me, you don't want to talk about sex with Matt.
Let's talk
Are you starting off insulting me? What's going on?
I know, but he's got more other things to talk about, because last week CPAC proved once again that organizer Matt Schlapp, that's him, is not afraid to stir up controversy. And it seems even I made an on-screen appearance at this year's conference. How nice.
That's very good.
I just hope my hair looked good. Did he look good?
Fabulous.
All right, so please welcome the chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. Hi, Matt.
Thank you.
I don't know. You guys have nothing better to talk about than me, really. Come on. But you guys have been, the CPAC has been attracting more extremist fringe elements of late, right?
I don't agree with that, of course.
Okay, you invited far-right French politician Marine Le Pen to speak. Her grandfather is that horrible Marie Le Pen, Jean-Marie Le Pen, who's
That's
a Holocaust
right.
denier.
A hateful guy who's disowned his own granddaughter because she has separated herself from his hateful politics, and we think that's a good thing.
That's not true. A year ago, she proclaims herself the political heir of Jean-Marie Le Pen to the Washington Post.
She has the last name. She's not going to change that part of her family lineage, but in America, We judge the person on what they say, and we believe that her message of separating herself from some of these policies in France that I quite frankly completely disagree with. Did you watch her speech?
A little bit.
I thought it was a good speech. It's exactly the kind of message American conservatives like.
Okay, but you also have some other extremist people on there, white nationalists. I won't
You know
go
I'm
into
going to
their
disagree,
names.
but go.
Well, I can start naming them, but they take forever. There's so many of them. The question is, does this fringe group represent your party now?
Look, it's a fair question, and I think we ought to just take it on. If someone is a hateful, racist person, we don't want them there. When Richard Spencer, who is a neo-Nazi, KKK...
Got rid of him.
We kicked him out. I called our lawyers right over. Good. Said, I know it's America, but we're paying all the bills in this hotel. Can we kick him out?
But you invited Milo also.
And disinvited him because some tapes came forward that were, quite honestly, on questions of equal opportunity in America. This is not a political discussion
Milo
anymore.
had been very hateful much before the tapes came out. The tapes made it undeniable, and the tapes were about pedophilia.
That's right.
Which was an entirely different thing.
Yep.
But he was hateful before you invited him. He was a hateful pedophile when you disinvited him.
He's not a pedophile. Let me be clear about that.
He had tapes.
But look,
that
we did the right...
talked about pedophilia.
I feel like we did the right thing. When the information came forward, we disinvited him. We took a lot of heat. Nobody was happy with the situation. But I think we also have to acknowledge that things are awfully messy politically in our country these days. And what we try to do at CPAC is put the controversies on the stage and try to talk through them. Now, we have a conservative perspective. There's no question. I reject that it's fringe. I reject that it's racist or hateful. And when we do something that's wrong, call us out on it, okay? Because our goal is to get the left and the right to talk better with each other. That's why I'm here today. That's why I'm here.
But how do you put together the fact that Trump calls Mexicans rapists and says a lot of things nasty against immigrants with what you just said?
Let me interject on this, if you don't mind, because it's more than just that. So I know you, Matt. I know you have a lovely wife.
Yeah.
My husband interviewed Ted Cruz at CPAC this year, and I thought they both did a wonderful job. I don't see CPAC in a vacuum, and I actually enjoyed a lot of the speeches that I watched online. I have a lot of friends that were there. I have to tell you, when President Trump called out my dad and led a crowd of booing, I was so upset. I was so hurt. I know it's about policy. I don't understand why Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski aren't also brought up if you want to talk about the Obamacare vote. I also don't understand despite I'm aware my father's never even been invited to speak at CPAC. I know he's not a conservative darling, but why at this moment when he's suffering from the worst brain cancer that exists and going through chemo, why there can't be a modicum of respect for my family at this moment from CPAC?
A very good point.
And you defended it on Twitter, and I was disappointed. I know your wife well. You're good people.
Let him answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, your father is a national hero. He has served his country. He's fought for his life before, and he's fighting for his life now. And I think we all respect that. My conversations when I talk about your dad with what he's going through is just to keep him in our prayers. The fact is also, you know, he has spoken at CPAC in the past. He spoke when he was the nominee of the party. He's spoken before that. You know, he actually spoke at CPAC right after he was released from his terrible imprisonment. So, you know, and Anna, you've spoken at CPAC. A lot of people have spoken at CPAC. If people have a disagreement with how I'm running the organization, ask the questions. I know that there are some tough questions to ask, and I'll answer them. But as far as your dad is concerned, I do think there is a disagreement on policy questions. Let's keep it to policy. He's a good man that follows his conscience.
I would have really loved for you to, and I would have applauded you had you said that on stage at CPAC. In front of the people that booed John McCain. As you said, a national hero who was, and that crowd was getting stirred up to boo him by a guy who dodged the draft 5 times, man.
Can I try to answer that question?
No, seriously, why didn't you get up on stage and do it in front of that people? Not this audience.
The way John McCain would have done it, he has.
I have.
Yeah.
I'll say it right to your face, Megan. I have a lot of respect for you, too, and for your family. I think it's okay in America to disagree with someone's votes in the Senate.
I do too.
And, you know, I talked to your dad when he was up for re-election last time, and he told me he was going to lead the charge against Obamacare. For whatever reason, he followed his conscience.
Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins?
He didn't invite them.
But why aren't they brought up if you're going to say, okay, like this Obamacare, but I'm well aware of how controversial it was. Right. And again, I'm well aware that my father is not a conservative darling, never has been, never will be. But I just don't understand.
Well, he was the deciding vote. He was the deciding vote.
I have a question because, you know, you seem very lovely. You're a Notre Dame grad like I am. You're a Catholic like I am. It's a good thing.
Right.
But I, frankly, was very disappointed in what I heard. Your CPAC spokesman, Ian Walters, made some racially charged comments about former RNC chairman Michael Steele, saying he only got the job because he was a black guy. Now, we know that he was the lieutenant governor of Maryland. He was the Republican Party state chairman for Maryland. He was the head of the grassroots organization GOPAC. So he was very qualified. But Steele, you know, Michael took offense, and I know Michael as well, and he got into a heated exchange with you about it. Let's take a look at that.
It's stupid to sit there and say that we elected a black man chairman of the party and that was a mistake. But do you know how that sounds to the black community?
Yes, I know. And
do you know how that sounds to Americans?
I do.
And do you know how they then equate that level of stupidity to conservatism? That's the objection I have about the moment.
Don't take the worst out of what he said. You know him. I know, but this is where you need to have some grace. Look at what.
Wait a minute. What the hell do I have to be graceful for?
Michael Steele have to be graceful for?
What was not known at the time is that when Ian, who's with me here today, and is a dark-skinned conservative who has strong opinions about the Republican Party's failure to reach out to diverse populations in an effective way, he wants them to be better. He was called up to the stage in a spontaneous way, and by his, if you read his article that he wrote in The Hill, he used the words that came to him at the moment. He doesn't give speeches, and he wishes he could have sat down and thought through the words he would have used.
Well, yeah, I did read that article.
He did call Michael and apologize immediately.
But I did read the article, and he stepped away from it and said, no, I'm talking about Michael being unsuccessful. I'm talking about the job that he did. Then why did he call him a black guy, and why did you think that Michael needed to be more graceful about it?
Because when someone... I just wanted people to know the full story, that Ian actually felt bad, because it was never about...
But why do you say that he should be graceful about it?
Because Ian called and asked him if he would accept his apology.
Did you take any action against the guy who called Michael Steele basically a token black?
I will not tell my dark-skinned colleague in where I work that he's not allowed to have a point of view on these racial questions we have in society. Shutting people down is the wrong way to handle this. I respect
the right way to
him,
handle
and I let him
by
talk.
shutting down racism?
So you think that's
Absolutely.
the right way to handle it?
Absolutely.
Then why don't you do that?
Because
why don't you do that?
You be a little bit more unequivocal when it comes to shutting down racism, to Sonny's
why
point.
didn't you do that?
Because when
You're a Notre Dame Catholic. That's what we're called upon to do.
You're right.
I am right.
Father Hesburgh played a big role in all those things.
Yes,
He's a hero of mine.
did.
And the question is this: when we see racism, we call it out. I believe Ian, as someone who has his own experiences with his skin color, has the right to have a point of view. He admitted that
Does he have the right to be racist?
No, talking about race is not racist.
All right,
That's our problem.
I'm going to have to cut this down. This was a tough room, I think, for you.
He has 5 daughters, and he keeps used to it.
This is like my dinner table. You know, this is...
Okay. Thanks very much to Matt Schlapp, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Before we get to our favorite topic, SEX, let's do Sonny's plug, because they're investigating a bizarre case on 2020 tonight. Tell everyone what
Yes, we're examining the mysterious death of a woman in the midst of, it's a wrongful death civil trial against her boyfriend's brother at this point. And police found that she allegedly committed suicide by, she was naked, she tied herself up with nautical knots and then jumped naked over a balcony because she was so allegedly upset because her boyfriend's son got injured while under her care. And I interviewed her sister, who says that she would never commit suicide in that way. We've interviewed all of the people that are involved and closest to the story. We interviewed Jonah Shacknai, and we reenacted what could have happened. And I know, Megan, you are obsessed with it. Her mother's obsessed with it. And
DVRing tonight to watch it.
I think people will be really, really intrigued by what we've discovered.
Well, we can watch Sonny on 2020 tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. At ABC, right here. Okay, so let's discuss sex before the show. Because a survey of 2,000 Americans calculated the exact number of minutes the average couple has sex each week. And of course, that number is, you ready for it?
No.
69, I swear.
That's too coincidental.
She's not making this up.
I am
This is
not.
true.
I am not. So, Paula, you're the horniest Christian at the table.
I am the
Tell
most
us.
efficient Christian at the table. I don't need 69 minutes. I just need, what, like 7? Well, I am efficient.
So my mother...
Well, that's because you're also very young. You realize it takes Viagra 30 minutes to kick in.
My
That
mother-
too, but
my
I
mother-
got
up
3
at 9.
kids.
My mother used to say, for 10 minutes of pleasure, you pay the rest of your life.
Oh.
What? Yes. So you're saying she was overstating it, 10 minutes.
Listen, yeah, I think 10 minutes is overstating it.
They were doing better than I thought.
And we have to schedule it, too, and there's nothing wrong with scheduling. According to the survey says over 50% of Americans also schedule. I think
schedule.
Saturday night is when the magic's happening.
Anybody at this
in
table
America.
into scheduling?
Saturday night.
Me, I'm scheduled for tonight, so I'm hoping this damn plane takes off. Let me get home to Miami. American, don't let me down today.
Why is 69 minutes such a long time? I mean, if it's twice a week, that's just like a 30-minute fling. That's not a long time.
What do you constitute?
I know, someone agrees with me.
But what do you constitute as sex? Is it the foreplay? Is it everything leading
I don't know
up
what's
to it?
included.
25 minutes of watching
I don't know what's
Netflix.
included.
I mean, you just got married. It's not like you're having 7 minutes
I
sex.
want to talk about the Mueller investigation. Honestly, anything except this freaking topic. I hate this topic.
Why?
Made me talk about sex with my mom. It is Friday. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to even hell to talk about sex on television.
Okay.
And it used to be yours, and now you're using me as this. Look how red I am. I'm a grown woman. Look how red my neck is.
Okay. Okay, so before the woman has a nervous breakdown, we'll be right back.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, because the legendary Jimmy Buffett is open in Margaritaville on The View. Next.
Jimmy Buffett is one of the most popular recording artists and live performers in the world. And now he's bringing his songs to the Broadway stage with the new musical Escape to Margaritaville. Catchy pop tunes and tequila. I'm in. I'm in. Please welcome Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy, so nice to see you.
Ah, you're in the International House of Women. I like this. I'm used to this. Yeah. Also, all girls in my family, too.
Oh, yeah. Good. So, your musical, Escape to Margaritaville, here it is.
Yeah.
Just opened in previews last month, but I heard that on opening night. Do you have an opening night already?
We started, and on opening night, it was a good sign because we set the house record for bar sales.
That's what I heard. But I heard that the theater ran out of margaritas.
Well, they didn't run out of margaritas. They ran out of triple sec, which is an ingredient that you really you need. That's what's a margarita without triple sec.
Yeah, so what'd you do? They could have run around. There's a liquor
I believe
store.
they ran upstairs to a local bar and borrowed some.
Oh, there you go.
But, and then we broke the record again the second night. So it was a very festive first two days.
You might have broken the record last night, too. So Sonia and I went last night. The lines at these bars. You got two bars. They were very long. So we got left outside because we missed the theater call.
That's not what I heard on the Coconut Telegraph.
We had to wait watching it in a little TV outside.
Yeah, we had to wait like 15 minutes to get in because we were waiting for our drinks.
Well, we were not going to be the only... Look, we were not about to be the only sober people in that audience.
No. You weren't, and I would have gladly helped you if I'd have been there. I'd have cut line for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would have.
Well, if you ever get tired of the music business... If you ever get tired of the music business, we really think that you have a calling in Hollywood. Because unbeknownst to some, you had a small role in Jurassic World that became quite a scene stealer, everyone. Yeah. People were calling you the real hero of the movie. We have a clip, I think.
No. Get your priorities right.
You have to slow that down and take one more look. Look at it slowly.
Save the strength.
I don't spill a drop.
I love that. Your priorities are in the right place.
Well, it was an amazing thing. My friend Frank Marshall, who's one of the producers of this show, produced the Jurassic movies, and I've done a couple of little bit parts in there, a couple of lines and about, and one day work. I like that. So we did a lot more stuff and figuring I was going to get it more, but when the director did it, he said, look, you'll have a 5-second role, but I promise you it'll be a lasting one. And he was right. Colin was right.
He was right.
And he appears, Jimmy Jurassic is his name, so he appears in the musical too. Oh, I shouldn't have said it.
Shh, don't give it away.
Oh, you'll have to, I don't know where. Okay? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We're live. We're toast. We're live.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy, I understand. I think this is so genius. You're building a Margaritaville retirement community in Florida. Did you ever think that this would be when you wrote Margaritaville?
No. That song was written, in 5 minutes in transition from Austin, Texas to Key West. Never in my wildest dream of thing. But it's active living. These people aren't hunkering down and going to sleep there.
In other words, they didn't hear about that.
Tell the truth.
No, I'm hoping they're going to, allow 69 minutes for sex.
In the 2008 campaign, we went with John McCain to the Villages, which is a retirement community in Florida. And John McCain could not get enough of the story when they told him the highest STD rate in the country was in that retirement community. So my prediction is your retirement community is going to be off the charts.
First of all, I'm not retiring from anything. But it's an amazing thing, like you said, but it's groups of people that have kind of caught on to this, this lifestyle of escapism, basically, and they want to live it. But no, not in my wildest dream did I think. They actually want to name the streets and things, so I'm letting them, and they created the whole kind of myth of the parrot heads and dressing up. I grew up in a Mardi Gras culture down on the Gulf Coast, so costumes were no problem for me.
Speaking of costumes, let's go back to the musical. We have Paul, one of the stars of your show.
Paul,
sitting here front row. Paul, he's going to be performing with you in just a bit, and we're so excited to see you perform. But apparently in the process of making the musical, there was something about Paul that woke you up in a panic. What was it?
Yes, there's that thing. Well, Paul is from Canada, and the sun in Canada probably doesn't shine as much as it does in Florida. So he's so brilliant and portraying Tully Mars. Yeah.
Down, girl.
You got in to see that, right?
That's the margarita talking right there.
But he was lacking a tan.
Half the show.
So we had to tan him up. So,
well, Jimmy and Paul are taking us all to Margaritaville when we come back.
All right.
In a big way with Jimmy Buffett and Paul Alexander Nolan, star of Escape to Margaritaville. Take it away, guys.
All right, let's go. I see you're well armed here, ladies. This is good, huh? Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bake. All those tourists covered with oil. Got it, Paul?
Yep. Strumming my sixth string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil.
Shrimp, need something.
Wasting away again in Margaritaville.
We got background singers up here now. Searching for my lost shaker of salt. Salt.
Some people claim that there's a woman to blame,
but I know
somebody's fault. Yeah, some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know this is all Paul's fault. It's Jimmy's fault. Yeah, some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know this is all Jimmy's fault. It is all Jimmy's fault. Not my fault. Not my fault. Yes, boss.
That was great, Jimmy. You know, and everyone, okay, Escape to Margarita.